Welcome everyone. This is another episode of Council Chat here for the town of Prescott Valley. I am Mayor Kel Palguda, and we are going to be talking with Tamara Player from West Yavapai Guidance Clinic. And we're going to learn all about what's happening with the guidance clinic in the town of Prescott Valley. Some people don't even realize that they are even in our town. So we're going to learn a little bit more about that, what they're doing to help our community, and how we can get a hold of them if we need anything. So welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much for having me here, Mayor. It's great to be here today.
Yes, it's so different how the different number of people that we have here, and we've never really had anyone from your basic footprint. So,
oh, really?
So I'm excited that you're here.
Well, I'm excited to be here, especially right now, I think, with everything going on in our community and the pandemic. You know, mental health is just like physical health. We all need it, and yet I really think we all need it, especially right now with everything going on.
No, absolutely. So let's just start with letting our viewers know what exactly is West Yavapai Guidance Clinic, where are you located, and give us like a Reader's Digest version of what services you provide.
Sure. So West Yavapai Guidance Clinic is located in Prescott Valley, Prescott, Chino. We serve all of the western part of Yavapai County, providing mental health and substance use services, both in terms of like outpatient. So, you know, if you lost a loved one, sure. You could go in and get some brief treatment, or for people that need longer term treatment, we provide that longer term treatment as well. We have a substance use residential program, and here in Prescott Valley, we have our crisis stabilization unit that's available 24/7 to anybody in our community who's experiencing a behavioral health crisis.
Gotcha. So anyone's having some mental challenges, some issues, things just, because let's face it, I mean, life throws a bunch of curveballs at us all the time.
Absolutely.
And it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just part of trying to get through what we call life.
Absolutely.
So what role we can talk more about the COVID-19 and how it's affected basically the town of Prescott Valley and our entire country, but we can kind of focus on how we're doing things here.
Yeah. So let me start for the country for just a minute, just to say, I think there was a study recently, or an article put out by the CDC, that shared that when they looked at pandemics or disasters, wide range disasters, one of the things that really helped people and communities recover was the connection. People came together.
Sure.
And when we think about COVID-19 and how it's impacting us, it's really taking away one of our main protective factors.
Main coping
coming
skill.
Together.
Sure.
Absolutely coming together. So, you know, I think that specific to our community, I think, you know, people are really trying to connect with each other and seek support and use their natural resources. And I'm really concerned. I think everybody at our clinic, probably you are too, are concerned about our seniors and people who have depression and anxiety to begin with, because they tend to isolate more.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think also a big concern area is also younger generation, or teenagers, who are having difficulty kind of basically processing what's happening. They don't quite have those coping skills, and some have turned to suicide, which has been awful.
Yeah. Our teens, it's all about social life, right?
Exactly.
Even school, and so much of it's being able to connect with your friends, and having been, you know, distant learning or virtual learning since, was it March or April?
Since March.
That's a long time for kids not to be able to see their friends and interact, and, you know, so much of our development at that age is all about connecting.
No,
so
definitely.
we are really concerned, and we're concerned about suicides for our teens as well as for our seniors. Last year, Yavapai County, we had an increase in suicides, and with, I think it was like 75% being over the age of 50.
Wow.
So we're, in addition to our teens
who
are high risk, we're also really concerned about our seniors in our community.
No, definitely. Like, these times are definitely placing challenges on everyone when we're telling people, hey, you need to, you know, stay at home, or you need to isolate, or things like that. And the social aspect to life itself is so important.
It is, absolutely. You know, I think you know, one of the good things that are happening for our teens is that they're so used to connecting socially through social media, right? Texting, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it might be, even FaceTime. So I think our teens have a way of still trying to connect with their friends. Not all of our seniors have, you know, that's been part of their life, and or have that skill set or interest in doing that. So it's how do we maybe connect our teens with our seniors.
Yeah, right.
And help,
Sure.
develop this.
Has the guidance clinic, have they gone through any like special steps to like do like a telemedicine or a tele support through maybe Zoom or things like that? Is that something that the guidance clinic has participated in?
Absolutely. So probably 2 weeks into COVID-19, we transitioned about 75% of our services to virtual.
Okay.
So if you had a family member or a friend who needed services, they could actually call us, get all of their services, telehealth, never have to come into the clinic.
Gotcha.
For those who need to come into the clinic, maybe they're experiencing homelessness or some other life circumstance that they would need to come into the clinic. We are doing that on a limited basis. Very safe. Everyone wears masks, and we do the extra cleaning and all of that because we want people that shouldn't be a barrier.
Right.
Being concerned about your safety.
So I think one of the biggest challenges we have as a community is just the unknown.
Yeah.
So like with COVID, people weren't sure what to expect. How are we going to function? And the same goes with perhaps the guidance clinic. What can someone expect who's maybe having challenges? Do they call on the phone? Who answers? How does this process go? Like, how do they get in to talk to someone? Or because that might kind of steer people away right now because they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. So what could you tell our viewers what you would expect if I was to call and need help or want to set an appointment? How does that go about?
Yeah, it's really simple. You just call our office, and an intake person will talk with you and gather some basic demographics, and then actually schedule a time for you to complete the initial assessment. That usually takes about an hour to do that. And then, depending on what you talk with that person about, we'll either get you into a virtual group or virtual therapy.
Sure.
Some people are wanting medications as well. We've seen a pretty significant increase in anti-anxiety and depression medications.
Sure.
So we can get them set up with a psychiatrist or a med provider.
Okay.
So it's really a seamless, easy process. And we've spent, actually even before COVID, we were really looking at how do we streamline the process to make it easy.
Of course.
You get that 30 seconds of courage to come in and get treatment. It should be a simple process, not something that would make you never want to come back again.
Exactly. So the phone number that if say it's 2 o'clock in the morning, someone's experiencing a concern, and we're going to have them reach out to you. So if you don't know the exact number, that's okay. Don't worry about that. We'll get that up on the screen though. For that. So someone can call at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Yes.
Someone's there to answer?
At 24/7, someone is there to answer the call.
Okay, and then they, at that point, then whoever's answering then can determine the specific route for that person.
Exactly.
On what can do. They're not going to just say, hey, call back tomorrow during regular business hours.
No, and actually that night that individual can connect them right with a counselor that night if that person needs that. And that could be the end of the intervention, right?
Okay.
That somebody just called and needed support that night, we'll provide that support.
Sure.
If they're okay with it, we might do a follow-up call just to check in. If they don't want that, then that's the end of the interaction.
Okay.
But whatever people need, just come to us either through phone or walk through our door, and we'll help figure out the rest.
And can they walk through? Is there someone to greet them 24 hours? Like, is there? Okay.
Our crisis stabilization unit right here in Prescott Valley on East Ridge Drive.
Okay.
People can just show up there. So sometimes people think, I have to go to the emergency room first or something like that. You don't have to. You can just come to our crisis unit. We have counselors there 24/7 and able to provide assistance in any way that you need.
And that's East Ridge Drive, for those of you not familiar with it. It's south of Highway 69. Best route is right off of Navajo. Navajo leads right to East Ridge Drive, so you can check that out as well. So what else would you say to our viewers right now in regards to what we're experiencing or our times or things like that? You would like to get a message out there. What would that message be?
The message would be that if you are struggling, if you're experiencing depression, loneliness, anxiety, you're not the only one. A lot of people are experiencing that right now.
Sure.
Do not suffer in silence. Reach out to a friend, a church member. If that's not helping, reach out to us. We're here to help our community. This is what we do and what we want to be able to do in serving our community.
I think what you just said, like, don't suffer in silence. Like that, I mean, it says it all right there. Basically, like, you're not alone. Just try to reach out to someone and we'll try to get someone to just talk to you. Or also, like, we encourage probably reach out to other family members or something, right? You want to talk to, not maybe you're not experiencing any challenges, but speak to your children or speak to your neighbor or a family member. Just say, hey, just so if you know anything or if you have any issues, just let me know and I can try to help. I want you to know that you're not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone. I think asking our neighbors, our friends, our family
Sure.
members, are you okay?
Yeah,
There's a lot
absolutely.
right now. There's a lot to process going on in our
course.
world, and with the pandemic. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, it's okay to do that.
Yeah. We want to ask the question and check in with people that we care
No,
about.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I cannot emphasize that enough. And I know we've talked about this. I talked about it with Mondays with the mayor when COVID first started, where there was just a lot of unknowns going on. I mean, people were hoarding toilet paper and meat. And I mean, to think where we are today compared to where we were, 4 or 5 months ago is just leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, the whole key was just reach out, just talk to your neighbors, see if they need anything, because everyone's a little scared right now. And that, being scared kind of still extends perhaps till today. And it doesn't hurt to hear from them.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely still extends to today because people don't know when this is going to be over.
Sure.
And so the unknown makes it hard to plan and creates kind of like this heaviness or this burden that we're all carrying. Just know we're carrying it together, and connecting is one of the things that makes us so resilient as human beings. So let's do what we know
No,
works for
absolutely.
us. Yeah.
No, definitely. So is there anything on the website where someone just may be able to get some more information? Is there things
Absolutely.
like that? So where would they go for that?
www.wygc.org.
www.wygc.org.
Yes.
And they can go on there, kind of just look around, see what other services there are.
Yes.
And something might trigger them and be like, oh, look, I can get assistance with this program or something like that.
Absolutely, and we'll have some resources available on the website too, just around symptoms and things you can do if you're
Great.
struggling or if a family member is struggling. So those resources are available as well.
Nice. So is that the only way they're going to be reaching out, through the website or phone?
Website, phone, Facebook.
Facebook.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about Facebook then.
Sure.
So you guys, someone can go to your Facebook page.
Yes.
Is it West Yavapai Guidance Clinic, I'm
Yes,
guessing?
absolutely it is.
And like your page. Doesn't mean they like you, I tell people. Just because you like a page doesn't mean you specifically like them, but you can just at least get more information.
Yes.
And I'm sure you guys do posts about mental health.
We do all kinds of posts, little videos.
Okay.
We have a senior peer program, and so our program director will do little snippets for our seniors in our community
Nice.
as well, just to talk about isolation and
Sure.
what we can do there. And so, there's all kinds of resources available on our Facebook page.
Awesome. I mean, this is kind of the direction we've been going, is Facebook
Yeah.
just gives you that real quick little piece of information, just maybe 2-3 minutes, and then kind of move on to something else. So
Absolutely.
we're finishing up, but what else? Is there anything else you want to share before we close out this segment?
I would just say, don't suffer in silence.
Don't
Go
suffer
and
in silence. I mean, truly.
reach out.
So recap, folks. West Yavapai Guidance Clinic, located here in Prescott Valley, but they serve everywhere. So if you're in Dewey, Mayer, you have an office in Chino.
Yeah.
Basically, the entire west side of Mingus
Yes.
is what West Yavapai Guidance Clinic is serving. So be sure to look them up. Go on the Facebook page. Go just on their website and just hunt around and do not be afraid to reach out. It is so important that your voice is heard and that any concerns you have, these folks that's what they're here for, and it's nothing to be embarrassed about. We're all trying to get through life, and please don't suffer in silence.
Yeah.
That's so important. So I will really appreciate you coming on.
Mayor, thank you so much for having us.
This was just good for, just like I said, no one from the Guidance Clinic has ever been here, and it's just good information, and I hopefully you folks at home enjoy it as well. So again, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, folks. We'll see you next time with Council Chat. Have a great night and be safe.